Good morning, children. Now we will be discussing one by one algae, bryophyte, radiophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperms. Now algae. One introduction has been given. Here nothing is there to study. Rain brings joy and life to various organisms on earth. Have you noticed some changes in and around you after the rain? Could you identify the reason for the slippery nature of the terrace and green patches on the wall of our home? Green color are puddles. Puddles means where the water will be logged for some time. After a few days we can see it is greenish in color because of the growth of the algae. Puddles and ponds. Why should we clean our water tanks very often? The reason is algae. Algae are simple plants that lack true roots, stems and true leaves. 2/3 of our earth's surface is covered by the oceans and seas. The photosynthetic plants called algae are present there in the ocean and seas. More than half of the total primary productivity of the world depends on this plant group. Which plant group? The algae. Further, other aquatic organisms also depend upon them for their existence. Now next, this is the introduction of importance of algae. Now, algae generally they are autotrophs. Green in color, grow in wide range of habitats. Majority of them are aquatic. Aquatic means marine maybe. Gracilaria and Sargassum, freshwater. Udogonium, Eulothrix. Soils found in soil. Frischella Vaucaria. Chlorella lead and endozoic. What do you mean by endozoic? Zoic, whenever the word will come, it is related to animals. In the body of animals, inside animals. That is called endo. Endo means inside. The chlorella lead an endozoic life in hydra and sponges, whereas Cladophora crispata grow on the cells of mollusca. That means epizoic. On the cells, it is called epizoic. Underline there one more question. Endozoic algae, chlorella. Epizoic algae, Cladophora. Algae are adapted to thrive in harsh environment. Harsh environment means unfavorable climatic conditions. Now, Dunaliella salina, it is a halophytic algae. Underline there. Algae growing on snow, they are called the cryptophytic algae. Chlamydomonas nivalis grow on snow. So, Chlamydomonas nivalis is an example of cryptophytic algae. Snow-covered mountain and impart the red color. That's why it is called red snow. A few algae grow on the surface of aquatic plants and are called epiphytic. Zoic means animals. Phytic means plant. Epi means what? I told just now. Epi means above. On the above other plants, epiphytic. Here I told epizoic. On the animals. On the cells of animals, on the inside the body means it is called inside the animal's body means endozoic. It's like that epiphytic. On the other plants, when algae are growing, they are called epiphytic algae. Coleochaete, Rhodymania, these are the examples. Now the study of algae is called phycology. You can say algology. Algology you can keep in your memory. From algae the word will come. But the new word for you, that is called the phycology. Some of the eminent algologists or phycologists, F.E. Fritsch, F-R-I-T-S-C, Fritsch, F.E. Round, R.E. Lee, M.O. Parthasarathi, Iyengar, M.S. Randhawa, Y. Bharadwaja, V.S. Sundaralingam and Desikachari. So anyone that is green color box, it is given M.O. Parthasarathi, Iyengar. Keep in your memory. And F.E. Fritsch, he is the very eminent algologist. Now, general characteristic features. The algae show great diversity in size, shape, and structure. Wide range of thallus organization is found in algae. Underline there. Unicellular motile. One cell they can move. Chlamydomonas. Just opposite. Unicellular non-motile. Chlorella. One case. Unicellular. Now colonial, so many will be grouping together to form a ball-like structure. Colonial and they are motile, they can move, volvox. colonial non-motor opposite, hydrodictyon. Next one, siphonous, tube-like body, Vaucaria. Unbranched filamentous, Spirogyra. Branched, unbranched filamentous, Spirogyra. Branched filamentous, Cladophora. Disc-like, flattened, Coleochaete. Heterotrichus, so many hairy appendages are present. Frischella. Foliaceous, leaf-like. Foliaceous means leaf-like. Alva, to giant kelps, laminaria. They are depositing the siliceous material that is called the kelp, laminaria, and macrocystis. Thallus organization, the next page we will be discussing. Now algae, next important characteristic feature, algae are eukaryotes. We know that one. Except blue-green algae, they are the prokaryotes. Plant body does not show differentiation. So what will be the term will be used for this? When there is no differentiation in plant's body, root, stem and leaf, the plant body is called the thallus. Thallus. The cell wall of algae underline their cellulose and hemicellulose. Siliceous walls are present in diatoms. In Chara, the thallus is encrusted or covered by calcium carbonate. Some algae possess algine, underline they are very, very important. What do you mean by algine? Some algae have the cell wall or is made up of algine, is nothing but the polysulfate esters of polysaccharide, which are the source of alginate, agar-agar, and carrageenan. The cell has membrane bound. Eukaryotic means we know membrane bound organelles will be present. You can write the names of these organelles, then nothing to memorize. Mitochondria, chloroplast, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, etc. Now another important thing, pyrenoids are present. What do you mean by pyrenoids? Now these are the proteinaceous bodies found in chromatophores in the chloroplast. Colored pigments are called chromatophores. Assist, and their main function is to synthesize and storage the starch. That is the main function of the pyrenoids. Now next, the pigmentation. That is the pigmentation. Pigmentation, reserve food material, and flagellation differ from the algal groups. The pigment, what type of pigments are present? Accordingly, the algae are classified. Reserve food material also, whatever we will be discussing, these three criteria are important. Pigmentation, reserve food material, and whether the motile forms are present or not. Motile forms, zoospores are there or not, flagella are there or not in the any part of their plant's body. Algae reproduces by vegetative, asexual, and sexual methods. Vegetative method, how it will be taking place, includes fission. We know that one. Fission. Example is fission, Chlamydomonas. You keep in your memory like this. Fragmentation example is Eulothrix. Budding example is Protosiphon. Bulbils example is Fascillaria. Echinates example Pithophora. Tubers example Chara. These are the one example, different methods by which vegetative propagation takes place. Asexual reproduction takes place by the formation of zoospores, motile spores. Eulothrix, asexual reproduction by zoospores. Production of zoospores, Eulothrix oedogonium. Aplanospore, thin-walled non-motile spores, Vaucaria. Autospores, the cell itself will be performing the function of spores. Spores which look similar to their parent cell, Chlorella. Hypnospore, thick-walled aplanospore, Chlamydomonas nivalis. Tetraspore, Polysiphony, produce haploid spores after meiosis. Now sexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction takes place by the formation of different types of spores. Similarly, sexual reproduction in algae, three types. Already we have discussed in case of fungi. Isogamy, fusion of morphologically and physiologically similar gametes. Example, Eulothrix. Anisogamy, fusion of either morphologically or physiologically dissimilar gametes. Pandorina. Oogamy, the fusion of both morphologically and physiologically dissimilar gametes. Example, Sargassum. The life cycle shows distinct, prominent alternation of generations. Till here. Okay, thank you, children.